Something that you'll encounter the moment that you talk to people about the fact that you're a game developer is people trying to pitch their amazing idea to you. You're great at programming, they always say, but I have this perfect idea that's gonna make you millions of dollars. This could be just friends that you're talking about, or even in our case, we get like emails or like YouTube comments from people asking us to implement their crazy ideas because it's going to make us so much money. So you'll probably have encountered this at some point in the past as well. This is also nothing specific to just game dev. I used to work in traditional like IT related with programmers and things like that. And there were so much garbage ideas that were thrown to me because it was like Uber and Facebook meshed together and it's gonna make $50 million. We just need a programmer who like implement it. This is nothing new. And you've probably heard about the concept of it's not the ideas that are important, it's the execution before. But in this video, I just wanted to talk a bit more about the ideas I had about game ideas and how there are some things that game developers don't really fully understand about it, or at least that I have opinions about, all related to like game ideas a bit and concepts. And I figured I would just smash them all together in this video and then just talk about it. And I think I'm just gonna dive into the main topic. It's not the ideas that are important, it's the execution. This is something you hear a lot, and that is also the inspiration for this video. I have plenty of ideas in my head of like our future games that we want to make, and every single one of them is worthless. I could just say them out loud here right now about like the different kinds of games we want to make. I'm not gonna do that though, because I'm gonna make a future video where I actually go and break down in depth all of like the game ideas that I have and also why they're not that great. So subscribe if that's something that you're looking forward to. But a game idea doesn't really have any value if it's not validated. This is where the execution comes in and prototyping comes in. There's plenty of great ideas that may sound good on the surface, but that don't take into account the exact graphic style, for example. Is a game going to be low poly or is it going to be like super high end? Everybody wants to make Baldur's Gate 4 at this point, I feel, or another sequel to Breath of the Wild, but actually understanding the implementation needed and like the amount of work, most of those people never have. And that's fine, but don't come to me with an idea if you haven't tried it at least. If you haven't tried to make a simple prototype with like the core game aspect and you've had a feeling of, okay, this is probably gonna work and actually this part of my idea, I'm gonna have to tweak a bit. Only once you have that bit of credibility of I've actually researched my game is a point that you can start looking for other people. Could be us, probably not, or could be other people on like groups, or for example on our Discord server where you can also look for other game devs who could be interested in your idea. But nobody is gonna want you to join with just an idea. Also, idea guys have the easiest life and they get no respect because, you know, all they have to do, or all they do realistically, is just think about the idea, they spit it out and they're like, okay, I want 50% of all the profits now. That's not how it works, and that's something that, you know, is a PSA. Now, one other thing about the game ideas is that a lot of developers are overly secretive about it and they don't really want to talk to me about it. I'm not gonna steal your idea. Honestly, I don't care about your idea, I just want to help you. And this doesn't just go to me, but goes to pretty much any other indie developer that you talk about. We're all too busy crunching away on our own games, on our own studio, that the best we can do is give you some feedback on your game, not steal your game. I believe that if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I have this really cool game idea, but here's an NDA, pulls out an NDA of their pocket and it's like, you have to sign it before I talk to you about it. You're just a clown. Just go away. There's a lot of fear with these kinds of developers who usually haven't really made a game before yet, that they don't understand how busy other developers are and how little they care about stealing their idea. We all have different preferences. Some game that you guys like would tell me about is like, oh, this is going to be the most epic game ever. I'm like, it's not really my genre. I'm not that interested. But they could still be commercially viable. They're just not for me. But as an indie game developer, you're never going to work on a game that you're not like 100% behind, because that means that your game is going to be suffering in quality and it's never going to have a good end product. Instead, if you're a developer, talk to people about your idea, talk about some of the challenges you may have been already encountering during development, but don't just share your idea. I've said this also before in another video. Have an idea and stick to it. I don't mind talking to you about your game ideas, but don't switch the idea every 2 months because, you know, once you actually had to program it, you're like, I don't really want to do it anymore. You need to talk to as many developers as possible because they have unique insights as well. They usually also all have like very broad like gaming databases in their head, really, of like mechanics and things they like, things they don't like. They can help you out in brainstorming infinitely more than you being like all secretive about your game and not really wanting to share anything about it. And that secrecy brings me on to like another idea I had. I was talking with a viewer of this channel recently, and he brought up this point where he's like, I don't want to showcase my game until I have like a publisher and until the publisher wants to like go and do the first big launch. Because it's better for me to be able to give them the exclusive deal of you're going to be the first one to like announce this game. And you're probably watching this video. I respectfully think that it's a dumb idea because publishers aren't looking for ideas. Developers are looking for games and they're looking for validated games. You're going to be infinitely stronger by going to a publisher and be like, hey, this game already has 5,000 wish lists, or like we once posted a cute GIF of the game and we got like 10,000 reposts on Reddit or on X or whatever. Then if you just come out with a super cool idea maybe, but you're like, oh, nobody knows about this existence yet. You're causing a lot more risk to the publisher because they also just have to guess before they sign on with you if the game is going to be worth it. They want that external validation. They want to support you probably, but they want to make sure that their investment is going to pay off. And I do understand where you're coming from with that marketing beat of, you know, a publisher is going to have a better like network of, for example, like people at like games media and things like that to help you with like that first news post on like IGN or Games Radar or whatever. But I believe that's a very big risk you're taking because most of the time it's not going to happen and you're much better off doing open development. Honestly, I feel like the past few years, open development has also just become more of the meta with game developers. So I don't think you should be scared to either showcase your idea, showcase your prototypes, how shitty they may look, and just get some initial feedback before you even go to that publisher. And then lastly, if you are watching this video and you feel like you are a bit of an idea guy, you're always full of various ideas and you've never really executed, I want to dedicate this little part to you as well. And generally, this is gonna sound very unhelpful, but try not to be one. Nobody likes an idea guy. Literally nobody except yourself, even though you may have great ideas. I would focus instead of just giving like, hey, you should go and do this, make that prototype. It can be horrible. It can be made in like the most basic like Game Maker Studio or like whatever crappy engine. And that's fine. You don't need to go and make a whole Unity project just to prototype. But what you should become instead of an idea guy is look into how can I become an actual game designer. Look into how can I start validating my ideas before I actually go and annoy other people with them. Maybe you don't have the skills to actually finish a game and to like go through the entire process. Maybe you're horrible at marketing or art. That's fine. That's great. Honestly, I think you should focus on improving in like one specific area of game development and not be an ultra generalist, but focus on improving. Don't be just that guy who sends out the email, this is my great idea. Post a simple implementation as well. And I know you're probably gonna worry about, oh, but this game idea is so great, what if people steal it? As I said before, most likely people aren't going to steal it. And even then, it still means that your game idea was good. It still is some external validation and it means that you're improving as an idea guy. You're starting to gain XP to become a game designer. And yeah, sure, it's not really something you can like say on like your resume, like, oh, I made this prototype and some developer stole it, but most likely they won't. Probably they'll even just send you a message and be like, hey, we like this idea, can you help us with testing? So this is then a call out to all other people who have idea guys, like message them, don't berate them. They're all just game designers who aren't fully there yet. Try and help them. Don't just be like, hey, go away, or don't ignore them, but ask them for that prototype. Give them like a link to like a basic game engine or like a basic tutorial and be like, hey, could you visualize this? You're going to do so much better for those people. Maybe they won't listen to you, but you'll at least have had the moral high ground, I guess, to help them. Anyways, those were some ideas I had about ideas. Let me know what you think down below in the comments as well. I love to interact with you guys. If you're new around here, we're a game development studio. We've made our own game, Forge Industry, which you can get on Steam. It's a resource automation game. And apart from that, we also make these videos where we talk about the behind the scenes of game development. We talk, for example, about our sales numbers. We talk about the ups and downs, or also just about general game design or game dev related topics, such as this video. If that's something that you're interested in, be sure to head down below and subscribe, as it's a win-win for both of us because I get your support and you get these videos twice a week. That's all I really have to say. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!